Oh yeah, good old coffee. All right guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So I am out in an undisclosed location. I'm out here for 7 days. I am actually working. I'm kind of glamping, to be honest. I got a tent. That's something I never have unless I'm using it for camera equipment. But I'm out here getting things ready for my advanced course that we offer here at Survival Living. Survival Living LLC is the name of our business. We have an own outdoor survival school. There's something I need to discuss with everybody. I see a lot of people come to my course and come to other courses because I've been through many different courses. And they go in with all good intention and wind up dropping out. The majority of the people that wind up dropping out in my course that I've noticed, and many others, is because they don't have the mental fortitude for the stress, for the hardship that's out here. And this is something I want to talk about. Now, with mental fortitude, I see it all the time on my YouTube channel. People will leave comment, I am mentally prepared for what is coming. You must mentally prepare yourself for what is coming. You can have all that bushcraft and survival skills, but if you're not mentally prepared, you will fail. I want to speak on this because I'm speaking from experience. I'm the type of guy that goes out and does. I don't sit here and jaw-jack with you. And for those that actually do exactly like I'm doing, go out there and make it happen, you know I'm speaking 100% right here. The only way you mentally prepare yourself is coming out here, putting your body through it. That's how you mentally prepare. Sitting at the couch watching a horror movie or end of the world movie is not preparing you mentally. You will not be mentally prepared for events in your life or on these courses, not just my course, if you're not actually doing it. To prepare yourself, you actually have to push your body, break yourself is what you're doing. You're pushing yourself to the limit. That's how you mentally prepare yourself, because you're used to it. It's like muscle memory in a way, okay? You know what your body is capable of. You're used to the extreme heat. Down here in Florida, extreme heat. Wintertime, it gets cold here. I don't care what people say. Well, you should try blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I worked in North Dakota, -20 with the wind blowing. Yeah, I know cold too. I've traveled all over, done survival courses all over. So yeah. Been there, done that. And the only way to prepare yourself mentally is to physically put yourself in a situation. That's how you prepare yourself. So I want people to understand that. When you come here or any other course, even if you're not coming to my course, you need to be training for the course. It's not a camp out. It's not hanging around, roasting marshmallows, making s'mores. You're going through skill level. You've got tasks that you have to perform. So let's take one of our navigation courses. All right, that navigation course, as the crow flies, would be 1.2 miles. But it's not just 1.2 miles. No, you're going that direction, then you're going that direction, then you're going that direction, then you're going back that direction, and then you're going back that direction to find my tags and coordinates for your next tag and coordinate. You're not going down a trail. This is kind of like one of the locations. Not bad. Other locations, you're climbing over and through brush. And I'm not just talking about just a little bit on the roadside. No, I'm talking quarter mile of it. Yeah. The reason being is because when it comes down to actually survival, that's what you're going to do. If you're shooting the coordinates, and you got a time frame to get to location, you don't have time to skirt around a lake when you know your objective is right there a quarter mile, and you can be there in no time if you just push yourself, keep your azimuth, and keep going, compared to circle around a mile and a half lake and hope you can pick up the same azimuth. Odds are you won't. You'll be reshooting and reshooting the entire time, and now you've delayed yourself even further. What if you had an extraction you had to get to? What if you need to get back to camp in severe weather? You got separated from your group, you have no gear. Then what? This is why I tell people to push themselves. When it comes down to it, the only way to be mentally prepared for anything is to actually train at it. Same thing with prepping natural disasters. We talk about grid down scenario. Train, brownout drills, shut everything down. Now, what do you really need to survive with? What would make your life much more comfortable? As a prepper, we like having gadgets. I do. I got solar generators, all that good stuff. I love it. Love the comfort. But what if you don't have that? Shut everything down. How are you going to cook your food? How are you going to purify your food? Grid down, remember, purify your water. Grid down, how are you going to purify your water? Because now your water's not coming out of the tap because there's no power. Now you got to go get water. Do you actually know how to make a fire? Some will say yes. Many will say yes. I also know many that will say no. One of the reasons that we show different ways of creating fire out here. Everything from magnesium fire starter, bow drill, ferrocene rods, char cloth, charred wood. The reason why we show this stuff, flint and steel, is so that you have the availability to not be centralized just to one piece of equipment. Having these skills will give you the opportunity that no matter what, you're going to get fire going. You're going to be able to cook food. You're going to be able to boil water. You're going to be able to stay warm. Talked about this many times because I've lived this life. Outdoor survival. Train rider for a year and a half. Everything just out of my backpack survived. That's a lot. All over the country. I've lost lighters. I've sat down and had lighters break. All the fluid gone. I've been in such severe conditions my lighter would not light. Too cold. Yeah, it does happen. I don't give a crap what they say the freezing temperature is. It's so cold it will not strike. Now, if you bet your whole survival on just a Bic lighter, as preppers we stock it up, we stock things up, but when it comes down to actual survival, you need to have more. So I want to encourage you, don't just sit at home watching survival videos. Everything looks good on paper is what we say in the welding trade and in the ironworking trade. You know, guys that work with their hands. Everything looks good on paper from engineer department until it gets to the field. Do not just sit there and watch survival videos. Don't just sit there and read survival books. Because I'm telling you right now, that information will do you no good if you do not know how to use this and make it happen. Case in point, the bow drill. I get people all the time, I'm still working on it, I can't figure it out. They've watched plenty of YouTube videos, watch me do it on YouTube. It's practice. It's actually getting out there and doing it, is what it is. You can't just sit there and watch somebody do something and go, yeah, I got that. Okay, let's say you learn all the information from watching somebody. 92 degrees here today. Hot. Now let's say that you've been having a hard time finding water. Luckily I got a water source near here. I picked this location for this school just for that water source. You haven't had water in 2 days. You have no way of creating fire. You got some paracord. You can make a bow drill. You're exhausted, haven't eaten, no water. Heat's beating down on you. How are you going to do that? Are you just going to go drink out of the lake? You're just going to go drink out of the stream? I don't recommend that. I've had dysentery a few times in my life. Once, pure accident. Second time was part of a survival course and I had to go see what dysentery felt like. Sucks. It really does. You don't feel it right then. It's usually a couple days afterwards. I don't recommend drinking any water without filtration or fire purification. Plain out simple. I don't. Chemical tabs, yes, they work. You always have that funky taste to them. But the only way to do things is get out there and do it. Guys, if you don't want to come to my course, no problem at all. There are plenty of courses out there. I'm still rocking my Pathfinder course. Love that course. The guys there at Pathfinder are very knowledgeable. I recommend go checking that out. Start their basic class. Go to the scout class. I'm still trying to get into that advanced class that they got. I think this September is actually full. But it's something I want to do. Just because I run my own survival course doesn't mean I'm not going to continue training other places. That's what you do. You keep pushing yourself. And the best way to push myself is to go keep on taking other people's courses. Why? Yeah, I can do everything here in my course because it's what I do. Maybe they got something different that I've never done. So always push yourself. Again, if you guys are interested in the Pathfinder course, that's Self-Reliance Outfitters. That's Mr. Dave Canterbury. He runs that. Got a whole bunch of great instructors. One, Sean Kelly, Corporal's Corner. There you go. You got Tony Powers. You got my instructor, Mr. Paul Hack from Adaptable Survival. Great guys. Very knowledgeable guys. You know, you see me bust out bow drills all the time. I was doing bow drills and stuff before I went to the course. But when I was there at the course, I learned something about the bow drill. I learned to watch the stages of my smoke. Something I never really paid attention to. I'd use cedar or I'd use cypress. Didn't think much about it. And I had about a 70-30 rating on my fire making. Once I learned to watch that, and that was a tip from Dave Canterbury. There should be a photo there. He's right there beside me when I was doing it. Tell me about my smoke. Watch how the thickness of the smoke just changed. Ease off your bearing block, slow down, speed up, press down. And once you get the feel of it, I don't have any problems with it anymore. My success rate is through the roof on that. Have I had one fail? Yeah, I was playing around with pine to see if it was easy to do, if you could do it with pine. I have not had no success with pine at all, so I don't recommend using pine as a bow drill. Maybe if it's really, really dry and hard, maybe, but I haven't had any success with yellow pine. Doesn't mean it can't be done. Do I still play around with it? Yeah, I do. I think maybe if it was dry enough, hard enough, it can be done, but if there's any resin in that thing, yeah, it just makes for a pain in the butt, what it does. All right, guys, speak to y'all later.